Yo, 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 what up? Grateful for another maggot-free day above the dirt. Today's Buddhist quick tip is entitled Craving. So I talk a lot about attachment and breaking attachment, and that's because the Buddha teaches that suffering begins with attachment and it ends with breaking attachment. So it makes sense that we talk so much about that. But the attachment process is more subtle than that. It's not just I decide to do something in that moment and take hold, though sometimes it is. But it's really more insidious and subtle than that. So the Buddha tells us at first, ignorance is the beginning of the attachment process. It's where suffering begins, in ignorance. Now, the fuel of the attachment process is craving. Craving is not necessarily an intellectual process, though it's part of it because we're ruminating about what we desire, what we want. And let's be clear, it's okay to have desires and it's okay to want. It's when we're in ignorance and not able to manage desire in a healthy, skillful way that we get caught in craving. So craving is that very subtle push in the direction of fulfilling desire. What happens is because we're in ignorance, when craving takes hold, it pushes us into a single-minded focus on satisfying that craving. And the more we ruminate about it, the more we pursue fulfilling it. And the more we ruminate and pursue it, the more ignorance we find ourselves in. The more unskillfulness we see rise because the craving is getting stronger and stronger. Craving feeds on itself, meaning that the more I crave, the stronger craving gets. And the stronger craving gets, the more ignorance I fall into because I'm looking to fulfill that craving. And the more it fuels itself, the more my intention to fulfill it happens. But the problem is the ignorance is that we're not so conscious of this. We have a thought, I want something, and maybe we push it right away. But having had the thought, it's now in our consciousness, and suddenly we find that thought is still permeating, and we're entertaining it a bit, and then we push it away if we're aware it's unhealthy or unskillful. So the key is to bring mindfulness and awareness to when we're ruminating, when we're feeding craving with the pursuit of fulfilling that craving, when we're feeding craving by ruminating about it, when we're feeding craving, when we start to rationalize and justify why it's okay in some degree to fulfill that craving. Now, if it's healthy, great, but we have to be clear about our intention and clear if it is healthy or unhealthy. And if we deem it unhealthy, we have to get vigilant at not entertaining the thought that feeds the craving. We have to change our minds, redirect our minds to something healthy and wholesome, and not let it get any traction. Once it gets traction, it becomes incredibly difficult to stop that momentum. So I hope this was helpful. Have a grateful, maggot-free day above the dirt. Peace out.